Are you tired of streaming platforms telling you what to listen to? You keep getting the same recommendations over and over again. You finally want something new. Now, obviously, I can't change the algorithms for you, but if you don't mind being a bit more active about your music research, then this might be for you. Okay, some of these might sound obvious to you, but to start out, ask your friends about music recommendations. If you have any friends whose music taste you trust, talk to them about the things you enjoy and ask them to give you tips or artists to check out. Go to concerts, shows, club nights, places where DJs are playing, for example, and strike a conversation with the people involved, whether it's the people behind the booth or in the audience. If you're feeling a bit less social, you can, of course, always use Shazam to figure out what's being played. Listen to radio shows. NTS Radio, for example, has a really good system to dig through their archive based on genre tags, the hosts that are playing there, moods. They have staff picks every day that are worth checking out. You can just make a free account and start bookmarking things for yourself. Now, I know a lot of you are mostly using streaming services, but I can highly recommend using sites like Bandcamp, where you can support artists directly. If you don't feel like spending money or you're overwhelmed by how much music there is on Bandcamp, you can also use a tool like Camp Seek, for example, where you can explore music based on genre tags, or you can copy paste a URL of an album that you like, and it'll show you recommendations based on what the fans of this album have bought. And it's all laid out on a big world map and quite satisfying to go through, in my opinion. Speaking of maps, there is a by now quite ancient website called musicmap.com, which I still occasionally use, and where you just type in the name of an artist and it'll then show you a bunch of recommendations. The closer some names are together, the more likely you are to enjoy them, and you can basically just keep on digging by clicking on new names. Now, the following options require a bit more active digging, but I think one that is still a bit overlooked is YouTube. I guess by now people have sort of disregarded it because the algorithms have gotten quite bad over the years and the focus has shifted more towards monetized content. But there's still a lot of people uploading interesting music to YouTube. I'm not talking about the official profiles of artists uploading their own music, but fans uploading interesting digs, niche finds from the internet or records they've ripped. And usually those people have curated playlists or just a very interesting selection of stuff that you would usually not find very easily. Now from there you'll find yourself very quickly on a site called Discogs, which is essentially a record marketplace, but also just a highly detailed library of recorded music in general. And it starts feeling a bit like digging through Wikipedia, where you just jump from hyperlink to hyperlink and just go down the rabbit hole of artists, their aliases, collaborators, labels they've released on. And yeah, this process can feel very tedious and labor intensive sometimes, and you dig through a lot of trash. But you also just find yourself in corners where you would usually not end up. And since a lot of people are uploading songs to YouTube and then link them on Discogs, you can find yourself in this sort of dialogue between the two platforms where you explore both users uploading music to YouTube and new artists on Discogs. We're now straying further and further away from streaming, but where I find myself most of the time after having dug through all these different platforms is the file sharing service SoulSeek, where you're essentially just downloading files from various users sharing their music libraries on the internet. And a lot of these people are running blogs or YouTube channels again, and you can chat with them, you can ask them for recommendations, and you find yourself in this community of nerds and music enthusiasts. Some of them, of course, super annoying and exclusive, but then others very willing to share their knowledge and their files with you. Last but not least, consume other media that contain or feature music, like movies and video games, or read books about artists and subcultures. It can all open up new avenues and new perspectives on music and music culture in general. I hope this video was helpful for some of you, and for others maybe just a simple reminder. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.